I would now like to call our first keynote speaker, Nabila Al Macki, the Chairperson of Oman Association for Quality Assurance in Higher Education, on stage to speak on the topic Significance of Future Skills in Quality of Higher Education.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. سعادة السيد Salim Al-Busaidi, Your Excellencies, thank you very much for being here. I'm really privileged. And to give the keynote speech. I'm sorry, I'm just a habit being a lecturer to move around, not to stand on the stage, sorry. Significance of future skills. This is the content of today's session. Future skills and quality of higher education, diversity of change in higher education, dimensions of future skills, scenarios for future higher education in context of equality, future learning and equality in higher education, and recommendations. Well, for higher education, goes hand by hand to inculcate the students with the future students needed for the changing market ever. And what happened in 2020 made us all think about the change and the shift and how do we deal with such situation. Because none of us planned for that. We were not equipped how to deal with such situation. But alhamdulillah, we managed it. So how do we prepare our students for the future? How higher education can come together to provide and to equip students with the skills needed for the job market. I'll give you an overview about the association because I'm the chair and I have the previous chair, Professor Taqi, there. The Oman Association for Quality Higher Education started as a network in 2006, and in 2017 it became as an association, and in 2018 the association was launched under the Excellency under Secretary of Ministry of Higher Education. Future skills. All of us talks about future skills. What are they? These are competencies needed for students that allow individuals to solve complex problems, complex situations, in highly emerging contexts, because we say it is happen, it's changing in the future. How do we provide these? How do we inculcate these together? In the context of action, in a self-organized way, so to enable them to act successfully. So they are based on cognitive, motivational, and set of skills that needed. Quality of higher education. How do we bring and how do we maintain quality in higher education in such changing world? The higher education with the quality, they come hand in hand. We have to ensure that the education that we are providing to our students that inculcate those skills and also with high standards. They can include factors with because the qualification of the academic as well and the experience of academic can influence the higher education. And the experience of these lecturers also can influence, and gathering such this can influence the education and the quality of education as well. The future skills and higher education. There is a relationship because everybody is talking about future skills. How do we prepare students? But we need to think what our individuals need. What do they need in order to be able to conduct themselves to be a better leader and to perform the job needed in such changing world? There are three dimensions: subjective, object dimension, and social dimension. The subjective dimension is about individuals themselves, their ability to adapt, to learn. So it's personal abilities. And then there are a set of skills that individuals could enable themselves and equip themselves to have, like autonomy, self-initiative, self-management, and the rest of the skills are there. Object dimension. These are individuals working on a task. So individual ability to act, self-organize in relation to an object or a task in a certain subject matter. So agility, creativity, innovation. So those skills are needed to work in a task to complete it. Social dimension. The third dimension is the social. How do they deal in a society? How do they equip themselves? These skills are like sense-making, future mindset, using data together to analyze situation. This is how they deal. This is the dimension of a future skills with the education. This is just a map of all the skills. So if you look at it, we start with the subject development related, organizational, organization related, and object related. So it's like a map. I know I don't have the time to explain it, but I would love to explain the map. But it is self-explanatory. So now, the higher education institutions are faced with difficulties because there is a pressure from the job market, a huge pressure, but they cannot do it on their own. Higher education, like gathering like this, where we have individuals from governments, whether higher education or Ministry of Labor and other governmental institutions that can support each other and they can come in a decision of making that drastic shift, drastic change. And they've already started. There are several discussions with Ministry of Higher Education and Ministry of Labor and other ministries to bring skills, vocational training with academic education. So if we're talking about moving away from the academic programs, because we have a set of academic programs, this is the curriculum, and then these are learning outcomes, and students should achieve them, and they graduate. But we need to have more embedded into the academic program, like a structural aspect, pedagogical design of academic learning. Structural aspects is not only one institution. I know it would be very difficult, but having these vocational or professional courses embedded into the academic program, that can support the learners and will give a better graduates. So it's not only one institution, not one program. Pedagogical design and academic learning, also the curriculum that we provide to students. What type of a curriculum? Is it only curriculum based on theoretical or application? And what type of application as well? Hands-on experience is very important. What about the assessments? Assessment is a very challenging matter, especially for academics here. They won't know what I'm talking about. When it comes to assessing students, it's not an exam. It's not an assignment. Unfortunately, or fortunately, in a way, the AI is there. I think you've heard about ChatGPT. This is the talk these days. How do we deal with such things? How do we deal with such situation? Because AI is there, whether we like it or not. But how can we work together in order to equip our students? Now is not telling our students, move away, don't use, but let them use it, but with intelligence. So this is how we need to change our way as academics when we prepare assessments. So changing the assessment strategies and the assessment design and the curriculum will help students to equip with skills that are needed for the future. Drivers of change in higher education, because higher education should change. We don't have, it's not up to us. We should change in order to sustain. So we have personalized higher education, future skills, and multi-institutional study pathways, and lifelong higher education. Personalized education. What does it mean? All of us have different types of skills, requirements, needs. So how do we handle that? By bringing the vocational and professional courses into the curriculum. And then the curriculum and the design as well. But there are 4 elements of future scenarios of a university. How can future education can be? Future skill university scenario, the networked multi-institutional study scenario, my university scenario, and lifelong higher education scenario. I think I covered this slide. Multi-institutional network is not about having one institution. Should be easier to transfer credit from one institution to the other, or acquiring skills and accredited prior learning to another, from one institution to another, that can support students learn more and better. My university personalized with the capabilities, with the skills required for individuals. So it's like designing, allowing students to design their own curriculum, not designing the academic curriculum, choosing the required curriculum they want. So it's not only based on the academic way, but what type of skills, what type of professional courses can be embedded in the program. This we can allow them. Let them think for themselves. If they do that, I'm sure they will excel in the future. Lifelong higher education, higher university. We are not preparing them for today or tomorrow, but for future. So we need to provide them with the skills that enable them to sustain and maintain and to enhance and develop for future requirements. So an institution thus should offer micro-credential, which students assemble individual based on their own requirements, which is not easy because we have requirements. We have to apply to Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation in order to get the program approved. And if we are affiliated to an international university, we have to get their requirements and approval as well. So how can we embed these things together? It's very difficult. I'm not providing solutions. It's very difficult to say solutions. But just to support, what can we do? Creativity and innovation is very important. These are very important to inculcate and to equip into the curriculum. Also, for graduates, because now there is a shift to enhance the entrepreneurial skills among graduates and among individuals also. So this is one of the areas that we need to enhance and look after and to develop the graduates to have. Innovation also, let's have degrees in innovation. It's not just part of the curriculum, but degree in innovation and creativity, and also artificial intelligence module and Internet of Things. This is one of the areas that are new in the market, but we should do it very fast. We shouldn't wait for a long time because things are changing. Some of the recommendations which I already highlighted, like emphasis on critical thinking, ability to be flexible, flexibility, digital literacy, and interpersonal and team skills. I've already highlighted them in the previous slide. So it is very important that we encourage students to have these things. So the curriculum, the design of the curriculum and design of assessment that can support the students to be equipped with such skills. Emotional intelligence and mental well-being. This is very important, where you develop those skills. Again, how do we do it? It's left for institution, but we need to bring individuals with us to tell us how do they want things to be done. Okay, accreditation as well. This is one of the areas when it comes to the quality of higher education. Because to ensure the quality of higher education, all institutions should go through the accreditation, whether it is an institutional accreditation or a program accreditation. And there are a set of guidelines. So what do we do with these guidelines? I know that Oman OAQHE started amending the guidelines for the institutional accreditation, and they included COVID-19 into their standards. But what more needed? So we need to think about the future. We need to work together in order to have different types of guidelines, rules, to make the accreditation better or to suit the current situation and the current world. I think I've done. Thank you very much. And these are the referencing. Thank you.
Thank you, Nabila.